Have you ever wondered, in our increasingly digital world, how safe is your data really? We live in a world where technology is no longer a luxury, but a necessity. A world where our lives are interconnected through a web of digital networks. But as we revel in the conveniences of the digital age, there lurks a darker side to this technological marvel. Cyber attacks. Cyber attacks, in their simplest form, are malicious activities conducted through digital networks with the intent to cause harm. They can range from data breaches, stealing sensitive information, to ransomware attacks that lock you out of your own systems. But these attacks are not just limited to individuals or small businesses. Even large corporations and governments aren't immune to this growing menace. Imagine waking up one day to find your bank accounts emptied, your personal photos made public, or your entire city's power grid shut down. These aren't scenes from a dystopian novel, but real possibilities in the face of a cyber attack. The potential for harm extends beyond the digital realm. Critical infrastructures like power plants, water supply systems, and transportation networks are all heavily reliant on digital systems. A targeted cyber attack on these could lead to real-world catastrophes. The digital landscape has become a battleground, with cybercriminals constantly evolving their tactics to bypass the latest security measures. It's a never-ending game of cat and mouse, where the stakes are incredibly high. The threat of cyber attacks has been steadily on the rise. In the past 2 decades alone, the world has witnessed some of the most devastating cyber attacks in history, causing billions of dollars in damages and impacting countless lives. As we delve deeper into the realm of cybersecurity, we begin to understand the magnitude of this threat. It's a silent war being waged in the shadows of the internet, and the consequences of losing this war could be catastrophic. As we dive into the history of cyber attacks, it becomes clear that this is not a threat to be underestimated. We begin our journey in 1988 with the first recognized cyber attack, the Morris worm. This notorious worm was created by a young graduate student named Robert Tappan Morris. His creation, which he claimed was merely an experiment, spread across the internet, infecting an estimated 6,000 computers. A small figure by today's standards, but back then, it represented around 10% of the internet. The Morris worm didn't steal any data or cause any direct harm. Instead, it reproduced itself so rapidly that it overloaded systems, causing them to crash. This event served as a wake-up call to the potential threats lurking in cyberspace. It sparked a new awareness of the need for better internet security, and led to the creation of the first computer emergency response team. This was just the beginning, a prologue to a series of more severe attacks. Fast forward to the year 2000, when the world was hit by the "I love you" virus. This love letter from the underworld of cybercrime was no romantic gesture. It was a malicious piece of code that spread like wildfire through email systems, masquerading as a harmless love note. But when opened, it wreaked havoc on the user's system. The scale of the "I love you" virus was unprecedented. It infected tens of millions of computers worldwide, causing an estimated $10 billion in damages. Major corporations and governments were not spared, with operations disrupted and sensitive data compromised. This devastating attack was a wake-up call for the world. We began to understand the potential of cyber threats and the need for robust digital security measures. But the "I love you" virus was just the beginning, a taste of the chaos that could be unleashed by a few lines of code. Despite the growing awareness, cyber threats continued to escalate. In 2009, cyber warfare took a serious turn with Operation Aurora. This wasn't just any series of attacks, it was a sophisticated and coordinated campaign that, in many ways, changed the face of cyber conflict. Orchestrated by an advanced persistent threat group believed to be based in China, Operation Aurora was a wake-up call to the world. The operation was a masterclass in cyber espionage, targeting some of the biggest corporations in the world, including Google, Juniper Networks, and Adobe. The attackers were not after financial gain. Instead, they sought something far more valuable: intellectual property and sensitive data. They aimed to infiltrate, steal, and spy, using a previously unknown vulnerability in Internet Explorer. Operation Aurora was not a random, opportunistic attack. It was a meticulously planned and executed operation, marking the dawn of an era where cyber espionage became a tool of statecraft. The attackers exploited a zero-day vulnerability, meaning they found a flaw in the software that the developers were unaware of, allowing them to infiltrate systems undetected. The impact was enormous. Not only did these corporations suffer significant data breaches, but the trust in their ability to secure sensitive information was also severely undermined. The fallout was felt across the globe, prompting a renewed focus on cybersecurity and a recognition of the growing threat posed by state-sponsored cyber attacks. But perhaps the most significant consequence of Operation Aurora wasn't immediate. It was the precedent it set. The operation demonstrated that cyber warfare wasn't just about causing disruption or financial damage. It showed that cyber attacks could be used to steal state secrets, to gain a competitive edge, to engage in espionage on an unprecedented scale. The age of cyber espionage had begun, marking a significant escalation in the cyber threat landscape. 2010 brought us Stuxnet, a cyber weapon so sophisticated it changed the face of cyber warfare. This was no ordinary piece of malware. Stuxnet was a meticulously crafted digital missile designed with a very specific target in mind: Iran's nuclear facilities. It was a worm that didn't just mess with your files or steal your data, it had a mission. It was designed to infiltrate and take over industrial systems, specifically those controlling centrifuges for separating nuclear material. But it wasn't indiscriminate. It only activated when it found the specific systems it was looking for. The scale and precision of this attack were unprecedented. Stuxnet exploited 4 zero-day vulnerabilities, which is like finding 4 needles in a haystack of digital information. This was not the work of any random group of hackers. The level of sophistication suggested state-level involvement, with many pointing fingers at the United States and Israel. Stuxnet worked silently, subtly, making minor adjustments to the speed of the centrifuges. This caused them to spin out of control, ultimately leading to their destruction. All the while, the monitoring systems indicated that everything was running smoothly. The real-world impact of Stuxnet was significant. It set back Iran's nuclear program by up to 2 years, according to some estimates. But beyond the immediate impact, the Stuxnet attack represented a paradigm shift in cyber warfare. It showed that digital weapons could cause physical destruction. This was the dawn of a new era, an era where cyber weapons could be used to sabotage critical infrastructure, disrupt essential services, and potentially even cause loss of life. The lines between the digital world and the physical world were blurred. The battlefield was not just on land, sea, and air anymore. It extended into the realm of ones and zeros. Stuxnet was a clear demonstration of how cyber attacks could potentially lead to physical destruction. It marked a turning point, a moment when the world woke up to the reality of how devastating cyber warfare could be. Fast forward to today, and the cyber threat landscape is more dangerous than ever. We're living in an era where digital threats are as common as morning coffee. Our increasing reliance on technology has painted a target on our backs, and the bullseye is getting bigger with each passing day. It's like every corner of the internet has a dark alley where cyber criminals lurk, waiting to pounce. And these aren't just your everyday mischief makers. We're talking about highly skilled, well-resourced individuals and groups who have made it their life's mission to breach systems, steal data, and cause havoc. One of the most prevalent threats we face today is ransomware. It's a type of malicious software that locks you out of your own systems and data, and the only way to regain access is to pay a hefty ransom. It's the digital equivalent of a hostage situation, and it's been on a steady rise, wreaking havoc on businesses, governments, and individuals alike. But it doesn't stop there. We're also seeing a rise in state-sponsored cyber attacks. Imagine, entire nations employing teams of hackers to disrupt, infiltrate, and spy on other countries. It's the stuff of spy novels, but it's happening right here, right now. These attacks are often sophisticated, stealthy, and devastatingly effective, causing not just financial losses, but also impacting national security and infrastructure. This is our reality. Cyber threats are omnipresent, evolving, and relentless. They're not just a problem for the tech-savvy or the big corporations. They're a problem for all of us. But here's the silver lining. With every threat comes the opportunity to defend, to learn, and to grow. We're not powerless. With robust cybersecurity measures, we can protect our systems, our data, and ourselves. In our digital age, the threat of cyber attacks is a constant companion. But with awareness and vigilance, we can all play a part in securing our digital world.